All right, hey everyone, this is attorney Angelique Holloway, managing partner of Evans Law Office, a small business law firm here in Atlanta, Georgia. And today I want to talk about what the heck is risk mitigation. In this video, I am going to show you the top 3 ways to protect your business in less than 8 minutes. All right, let's get into it. All right, so what are we talking about today? The topics covered, the first one, defining risk for business owners. Number 2, let's do a little bit of lawyer math. And number 3, the top 3 ways that you can tackle risk in your business. All right, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Angie. I am an Atlanta business lawyer. I have been practicing for almost 8 years now. The first 6 years of my practice was dedicated to servicing individuals and business owners in breach of contract, discrimination lawsuits, in state and federal courts. The last 2 years or so, I have been dedicated to helping business owners avoid court altogether. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. What is risk? All right, so risk defined. Business risk is the potential for an adverse outcome to manifest that impacts your business operations, your goodwill, and your profits, right? So imagine your business is this person standing here on the cliff, right? This is your business. And you have all these risks around you, right? You could fall in the ocean or you couldn't, right? And so when you're thinking about risk, I want you to think about all the possibilities of all the wrongs that could happen in the context of your business, right? The most recognized risk is lawsuits. All right, so let's do some lawyer math, you guys. So how do we actually calculate what your risk is, right? And so this isn't some kind of a specific equation, but these are the different aspects that we're considering when we're thinking about what your risks are. So, all right, so the first one is all your contract loopholes. So for every term that's not defined, for every contract that doesn't have ADR terms, for every service that doesn't provide specificity so that the client understands what it is they're getting, that is kind of your first step of your risk calculation. Number 2, loopholes and gray areas. I just went over those together. So let's look at number 3, missing or inadequate insurance, right? So it's not enough just to say you have general liability, right? You may need an employer policy, right? So in case you get sued for wrongful termination, your general liability insurance is not going to cover you in that instance, right? You might need a commercial vehicle policy if you are having your employees deliver things. Or let's say there was a situation where there was a flower shop and they actually had a small shop here in the Atlanta area. They had a friend who was driving the commercial vehicle that was in the name of the entity and she got into an accident. And when she went to file a claim, it was denied because there was no employer-employee relationship between her and her friend. So we want to make sure you have the proper types of insurance and adequate coverages and making sure that you're not doing anything to void that insurance. And then we think about all your prior clients. So your prior engagements, they serve as each individual risk. So let's say you provide services, right? Consulting services. So you provided the service to the client and let's say they weren't happy, right? So maybe they file a chargeback. Maybe they bash you on social media. All of those different instances of what the negative outcome could be are contributing to your overall risks. And then lastly, we have likelihood for potential team error. So employees are our greatest asset, and they can also be one of the largest risks that we have as business owners. So one of the things you want to be cognizant of is making sure you have systems and processes in place to eliminate potential team errors, and then making sure that your employment contracts are such that you have protection in the event, let's say one of your employees steals some of your proprietary information. You have the legal basis to go after them for injunctive relief and other things. So all these things put together is how we calculate what your potential risk is in your business operations. All right, so the next question is, how do you decrease your risk, right? So there's a systematic way to go about doing that. We're going to talk about that in just a second. All right, so let's fix it, right? So What is a risk mitigation plan? It is a plan to evaluate and fix all the things we just talked about in the previous slide. So we're going to redraft contracts to eliminate those loopholes and gray areas. We're going to evaluate your insurance to make sure you have proper coverage and that you're complying with whatever conditions precedents you have for that insurance policy. And then we're going to evaluate and implement systems to decrease the likelihood of your human error with respect to your staff or your team. All right, so how do we implement risk strategies here at Edmunds Law, right? So we take a strategic approach to risk mitigation, guys. We're going to research your business industry. We're going to look at what is going on currently in the industry. We're going to look at how you operate individually as a business. We're looking at specific laws, regs, any changes to the laws. There may be case laws that are interpreting the regulations. And we're going to have you complete a quick 2-minute business questionnaire where we get to know some insights about your business and how you work. And we're going to look at your websites and all the different operations to see where your biggest risks are. We're going to assess by reviewing your contracts, your insurance, and your team. And then we're going to implement that plan that we talked about. We're going to fix those contracts. We might increase insurances, create systems to make sure that your employees are following the same process. And then once we've implemented that strategy, we're going to check in with you every 6 to 12 months, depending on your level of growth, to see what we need to change. We might need to increase coverage. We might need to add a new policy. There might be different things that we need to implement with respect to your team. Maybe you're changing systems or CRMs. We want to make sure that the systems are being implemented correctly across the board. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Attorney Angelique Holloway. Most of my clients just call me Angie. If you are ready to upgrade your contracts or begin a risk mitigation strategy with Edmunds Law, please go ahead and click that link at the bottom of this video to book a call with my team or with myself to discuss your needs. Talk soon. Bye.